It was a night like any other in downtown Manhattan. The Omega Trust Bank stood like a fortress, bathed in cold white lights and surrounded by armed guards, steel gates, and a digital firewall built by the best minds in cybersecurity. No one had ever breached it, not even close. At exactly 2:14 a.m., a blackout hit the surveillance grid. Every camera feed turned to static. Inside the security room, two guards scrambled to reboot the system, but their controls were frozen. They didn't know that the network had been infected hours earlier by a virus planted through a hacked company printer. While the city slept, Alexander Rain, known in the underground as AR, moved through the corridors of the bank with surgical precision. He wasn't just a thief, he was a digital mastermind, former military intelligence, and an expert in infiltration. Tonight, he wasn't there for cash. He was after something bigger, a digital wallet embedded in a military-grade server, holding $1 billion in cryptocurrency. Using forged biometric data and a voice synthesizer, he passed through each layer of security. Scanners confirmed his identity as one of the bank's senior officers, an identity he'd been preparing for 6 months. The vault, protected by both AI and human protocols, opened with a hiss. Inside, the temperature dropped. In the center of the room sat a sleek black case, Federal Reserve property, meant to be untouchable. Alex lifted the lid. There it was, the Sigma Core, a small server no bigger than a briefcase, storing hundreds of millions in secure digital bonds and crypto assets. One click, and all of it transferred to Alex's hidden wallet. He walked out calmly. No guards, no alarms. Everything had been timed to the second. As he reached the rooftop, a drone latched onto his harness and lifted him silently into the night sky. Back inside the bank, the systems restarted. 10 minutes too late. By sunrise, news channels were in chaos. 1 billion vanishes without a trace. Read every headline. The FBI, CIA, Interpol. Everyone wanted answers, but the only thing found in the vault was a line carved into the wall with a laser pen. You locked the wrong doors. AR. In just one night, Alex became the most wanted man on Earth. But the story didn't end there. 3 weeks later, while hiding in a luxury villa in southern France, Alex made one mistake. He used a secure network to test a new transfer key. That moment exposed a fragment of his digital signature. It was all Interpol needed. He was caught 2 days later in Monaco, boarding a private jet under a fake name. The world celebrated. The infamous thief who robbed the safest bank in the world was behind bars. He was placed in Blackstone Penitentiary, a military-grade prison built underground, designed to hold war criminals and terrorists. Armed guards, AI cameras, pressure-sensitive floors, no windows, no exits. The press thought it was over, but they were wrong. 1 month into his sentence, during a routine systems check, every lock in cell block C disengaged for exactly 47 seconds, long enough for one man to vanish. Alex Rain was gone. No footage, no guard saw him leave. His cell was empty, untouched. The only clue was a playing card left on his bed. The Joker, smiling. The prison director resigned. The FBI reopened its case. And somewhere, far away, a man watched the headlines from a quiet island, sipping black coffee. He smiled, because this wasn't the end. It was only phase 2. It had been 7 months since Alexander Rain vanished from the world's most secure prison. 7 months of silence. No sightings, no leaks, no digital traces. Interpol called it the cleanest vanishing act in criminal history. Rumors spread like wildfire. He changed his face, faked his death, fled to Mars. But the truth was far simpler. He was hiding in plain sight. Now going by the alias Damien Cole, Alex drove through the countryside of northern Spain in a black BMW, wind slicing through the open windows. He had taken every precaution: no phones, no internet access, cash-only transactions, and constant movement. He didn't steal anymore. He simply existed. But one night, fate, or rather a broken taillight, betrayed him. 9:48 p.m., a small town called Valdecuervo. A local patrol officer, Corporal Reyes, flagged the BMW down near a highway checkpoint. Routine stop. He walked up to the car, flashlight in hand, ready to issue a minor warning. Inside, Alex stayed calm. His Spanish was flawless. The license was fake but clean. Everything seemed fine, until Reyes glanced at the glove box and noticed something strange. A half-torn custom slip from France, marked A. Rain. Reyes froze. The name rang a bell. Slowly, casually, he returned to his patrol car and radioed it in. Interpol database, match, wanted, high priority, Alexander Rain. In seconds, every alarm lit up. Reyes was told to delay the suspect without confrontation, but it was too late. Alex had seen the look in his eyes. He bolted. What followed was a 45-minute chase through the hills of northern Spain. Police drones joined in. High-speed units raced to intercept. Alex dodged roadblocks, outmaneuvered spike strips, but one wrong turn into a vineyard led to disaster. The car flipped on a slope and crashed into a tree. They found him unconscious, bleeding and trapped behind the wheel. He woke up in handcuffs. In T. Maximum Security Facility. Black Harbor Prison. Night. Located off the coast of Iceland, surrounded by icy waters and reinforced steel, Black Harbor was designed to be unbreakable. Built for enemies of the state, warlords, and nuclear smugglers, it had one rule: no one gets in, no one gets out. Alex was locked in Unit E-17, 20 floors below sea level. His cell had no corners, no shadows. Lights were always on, surveillance never stopped, no visitors, no books, no digital access, just white walls, cold meals, and silence. They stripped him of everything, his aliases, his freedom, his mystery, but not his mind, and that's what scared them. The warden, Dahlia Stone, a former intelligence officer, knew who she was dealing with. Every week, she met him through bulletproof glass. Stone, you made one mistake, one cracked taillight. That's all it took. Alex, smiling. It wasn't a mistake. Stone, frowns. What do you mean? He leaned forward. His smile faded. Silence. Elsewhere, across the Atlantic, a hacker activated a dormant signal. A silent program buried deep within the prison system blinked to life. Files began copying, locks tested, security checks, rerouted. Someone was waiting for him, on the inside, and the outside. Because for Alex Rain, being captured was never the end. It was part of the plan. Phase 3 had just begun. Black Harbor Prison, 20 stories beneath the freezing Atlantic, was designed to be unbreakable. No daylight, no windows, just steel, stone, and silence. But 3 weeks after Alexander Rain arrived, that silence began to crack. It started small. Day 21, a guard named Miller disappeared during a routine shift rotation. No one saw him leave. His radio was found in the hallway, still broadcasting static. Security chalked it up to human error. Day 24. 2 more guards, Varga and Hines, missed check-in. Their keycards pinged inside the East Wing, but they never responded. The hallway cameras? Blacked out for exactly 37 seconds, the same window during which Rain had his morning walk. Day 26. The internal power grid surged at 3:03 a.m., knocking out lights across levels D and E. Backup systems kicked in, but for 2 full minutes the prison was blind. When the lights returned, every security lock had reset. All cell doors remained closed, except one. E-17. Alex's cell. He hadn't moved. He stood calmly in the center of the room, hands behind his back, eyes fixed on the camera. Warden Dahlia Stone watched the footage again and again. She didn't understand. No tools, no contact, no help. Yet Rain stood there like he knew what was coming before it did. She stormed down to his cell that morning, flanked by 2 armed guards. Stone. You think you're clever, don't you? Alex. Clever? Number prepared? Always. Stone. Where are my men? Alex. Probably wishing they had chosen a different career. Stone. You're behind this. Alex. I'm in a box, Dahlia. Remember? No contact, no internet, no tricks. He leaned forward, voice calm and deliberate. Alex, unless. That's exactly what I want you to believe. She slammed the emergency lockdown protocol that same day. Extra guards, external AI firewalls, all movement frozen. Rain's cell was sealed with 4 additional mechanical locks. His food was delivered by drone arm, his water tested, his air filtered. But the strange events didn't stop. Day 29, every prisoner's digital record vanished from the internal database. Names, sentences, biometric tags, all wiped. Security teams scrambled to restore files, but the backups were corrupted. Only one name remained untouched: Alexander Rain. Day 30. Surveillance drone logs showed strange looped footage. Rain appeared sitting calmly in his cell, but timestamps revealed something impossible. During the same hour, he was also seen in the facility's chapel, the laundry room, and the library, places he had never been allowed. The footage was real, but it was from years ago. Somehow, someone had accessed archived video and replayed it to the system in real time. Stone finally admitted it. This wasn't a malfunction. This was a message. Inte Alex's cell, night. He sat cross-legged, eyes closed, heart steady. The hum of the prison filled the silence. But behind that calm face, calculations raced, because Alex wasn't hacking from inside. He had started the program before he ever got there. Months earlier, while hiding in France, Alex had intercepted a Black Harbor security contractor's login credentials. A USB drive had been planted in a drone, disguised as maintenance software. The code embedded in that drive was dormant, silent for months, until it detected his presence through the prison's biometric scanners. Now it was alive. Each glitch, each disappearance, each power surge, scripted. EXT, Black Harbor Prison, Surveillance Tower, night. A guard stood outside, scanning the cold ocean horizon. He turned to light a cigarette, then froze. On the inside of the glass, someone had written, "You built the cage, I built the key, AR." The message wasn't there a minute ago. He called for backup, but the radio was dead. Alex opened his eyes. Tomorrow was day 31. The escape had already begun. Day 31, Black Harbor Prison, 6:02 p.m. Dinner was served late, not unusual. But today, the tension was sharp, tangible. Inside the mess hall, inmates glanced around nervously, whispering. Guards stood tighter in formation. Something was off. In cell E17, Alexander Rain stood calmly, dressed in gray inmate fatigues. His eyes were fixed on the small digital clock embedded in the wall. 6:09 p.m., the moment had come. 6:10 p.m., mess hall. A fight broke out between 2 inmates from rival blocks. Within seconds, it escalated. Chairs flew, trays clattered. One guard was knocked unconscious. Sirens blared, lockdown orders shouted. But it wasn't random. The entire riot was staged. Rain had orchestrated it weeks ago. Coded instructions smuggled through food wrappers, encrypted messages scratched into soap bars, passed from cell to cell like whispers. The chaos spread like fire. As the guards scrambled to regain control, a hidden mechanism in cell E17's wall clicked open. Behind Rain's bed, a square panel slid sideways, revealing a narrow shaft barely wide enough for a man. He slipped through, sealing it shut behind him. The tunnel was real. It had taken 6 months to dig, a feat no one thought possible in a facility like Black Harbor. But Alex had an accomplice, a construction contractor named Lucian Vale, part of the original engineering team. Paid in full and gone without a trace. During a maintenance overhaul the previous year, Lucien installed a false utility duct leading from cell block E to the perimeter docks beneath the prison. The tunnel was reinforced, vented, and disguised as old drainage piping. Surveillance never spotted it because it didn't exist on any blueprint. Alex crawled fast, every movement calculated. Behind him, the prison burned in confusion. Alarms, shouting, lockdowns. Above ground, Warden Stone watched in disbelief as her guards lost control. Every protocol failed. She ran to the central control room. Stone, seal the blocks, lock every corridor. Guard, ma'am, We've got prisoners loose on D, E, and F levels. Someone triggered the fire suppression on B. Cameras are failing across the board. Stone, check Rain's cell. Seconds later, a voice echoed over the intercom. E17 is empty. Meanwhile, beneath the surface, Alex reached the end of the tunnel, where it opened to a hatch beneath the loading docks. Above, massive crates of food and fuel were being stored. The hatch opened right beneath crate number 17, a shipping container prepared by his outside contact. Inside that crate, dry clothes, new identification, a satellite phone, and a rebreather mask. But time was tight. 2 dock workers heard something, metal creaking. One moved closer. Alex moved like a shadow, a quick injection to the neck. Sedative. Silent. The second worker turned around, stunned, but before he could scream, Alex was gone. He moved up the container stack, reached a steel catwalk, and found the final door, a maintenance tunnel leading to the pier. He exited into the night, just as a delivery boat was arriving to offload supplies. The boat's captain, unaware he was part of history, was paid earlier that week via crypto wallet to turn a blind eye and leave the engine running. Alex slipped aboard. 7:15 p.m., Black Harbor Bay. The boat departed quietly, blending into the ocean. No helicopters, no alarms outside the facility. No one knew he was gone. 8:02 p.m., control room. A message appeared on every monitor. You built a fortress. I found the cracks. A.R. Warden Stone collapsed into her chair, the reality sinking in. He was gone. Again. Somewhere in the Atlantic, under the stars, Alex Rain changed his clothes, wiped the sweat from his brow, and stared into the horizon. He was free, and the world had no idea what he would do next. The morning after the escape, the world woke to the impossible. Black Harbor Prison, the most secure facility in the world, had been breached. Not by force, not by chaos, but by calculation. A single man had walked out through the cracks of a system designed to be unbreakable. Alexander Rain was free. Again. News agencies exploded. The ghost strikes again. Alex Rain escapes second maximum security prison. Who is helping the billion-dollar thief? For the second time in a year, the police, Interpol, and global intelligence agencies were humiliated. Their systems had been infiltrated, their tech outsmarted, their best minds left behind. Warden Dahlia Stone was removed from duty within 48 hours. Her last act was opening an envelope left on her desk. A small white card, unmarked, except for a single line handwritten in red ink. This was just the beginning. A.R. The message went viral. The public was divided, half terrified, half secretly thrilled. A criminal who didn't kill, didn't harm, but operated like a mastermind out of fiction, and he had just declared war on the system. Interpol Headquarters, Geneva. Director Marcus Hale stood at the front of a war room surrounded by a dozen nations' top agents. Rain's face was on every screen. Hale. We underestimated him, twice. That ends now. He turned to his team. Hale. We track everything. Bank records, facial scans, thermal imaging, satellite drift. I want ports monitored, airfields scanned, crypto wallets traced. We shut down everything he could possibly use. Agent Laya Park, cyber intelligence expert, stepped forward. Park. We found residual code from the Black Harbor breach. Same signature as the Omega Trust Bank heist. She clicked a remote. Lines of encrypted code appeared on screen, almost poetic in their structure. Park. This isn't just hacking, it's choreography. Hale. Then we learn the dance. Somewhere in Croatia. 1 week later, Alex Rain sat in a quiet cafe, sipping espresso, dressed like any other traveler. A new face, a new name, a new set of fingerprints. On the table before him, a tablet playing footage of Interpol's press conference. Behind his sunglasses, he smiled as he heard them say the words, "He has help. We don't know from where or how." They were right. Alex wasn't alone. Scattered across the globe were 7 operatives, a former MI6 field tech, a Russian vault engineer, a South Korean drone designer, a Swiss banker, an ex-Navy demolitions expert, a Nigerian coder, and Lucian Vale, the man who built the tunnel. Each owed him, each was loyal, each had a part to play in what came next, because Alex wasn't done, not even close. 48 hours later, New York City. A digital art gallery hosting an anonymous NFT collection went offline for 5 minutes. When it returned, the screens displayed something strange, a black and white image of a king chess piece, shattering. At the bottom, a message. Your move. AR. The gallery's owner, an art dealer with deep political ties, was later found to have secret Swiss accounts, now emptied. Estimated losses, $72 million. And so, the game resumed. Interpol internal memo. Classified. Subject, Rain threat level, global estimated resources, unlimited. Known associates, 7 names redacted. Status, active, escalating. Next move, unknown. ENT, private jet, night. Alex looked out the window, the lights of a city blinking below. In his hand, a chess piece, the queen. He turned to his new partner seated beside him, identity obscured by shadow. Alex, let them chase. Every second they run, I'm already 3 steps ahead. He placed the piece down. Alex, Comte de, now it's my turn. And with that, the jet vanished into the clouds. The hunt had begun again, only this time, the stakes were higher.